As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody. For whoever wants to listen, I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Thoughtum McGottum. What's up, dude?
It feels like Thoughtum out there.
It's getting a little Thoughtum until this week. It's going to be back up in like the mid-80s, but hey.
Yep, get that second summer. Fall, second summer?
Fall summer, because it's false, it's fall, and it's also summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That worked out really well. Eagles won.
Victory Monday.
Victory Monday. Doesn't feel like it because we had to wait a couple of days, but yeah, Victory Monday.
Yeah, go Birds. It was, look, not pretty. A lot of good things happened. A little bad things happened, but you know what I chalked it up as?
A win?
A W. And also, none of those guys have played. They weren't in preseason games. You got to shake the rust off. We're fine. We're totally fine.
Totally fine. And we're here to talk a little OC, but first, an order of business.
Oh, I like that.
For all of you that are out there that are Brav Bros members, and for those who aren't, what are you doing?
I don't know what they're doing.
We're going to be releasing, starting this week.
Starting today, I guess.
Today, we just filmed it, so we're all warmed up.
Yeah.
You can't tell by our voices. Our voices,
Yeah.
our vocal cords are nice and warm. Gross. Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. No. But anyway, we just did a little mini episode where we're going to be talking about the news week to week about the Bravo world. And we're just going to give that to you guys every single week exclusively on our members channel. So if you're not a member, join up and you get a little extra Brav Bro.
You can go to thebros.memberful.com or you can just click on the link in our Instagram bio. It's $5 for the month or $50 for the year. Like Shooter said, every single week we're doing an exclusive episode breaking down what's going on in Bravo that week. For example, on this week's episode, we discussed the Tamara and Vicky stuff that's going on that we're not going to get into this episode. You got to listen to the exclusive one for that. We talked about Jax and Brittany splitting up. We talked about the Vanderpump Rules spinoff and potential season 12. So we covered some pretty solid topics this week. If you want to listen to that, join the membership and you will get access to all of the previous episodes as well. But yeah, every single week, if there's breaking news, that's where we're going to cover it, and we will address it all there. So once again, if you want to join the members program, go to the link in our bio or thebros.memberful.com.
Yep, we're going to have a lot of fun with those because it gets a little cumbersome to start talking about that stuff during these episode recaps. We just want to get into the episode.
I know.
And there's a lot of news going on here, so we can just separate that, have a lot of fun with it, and just get it out there to the people.
Yeah, exactly. The people that are members.
Uh-huh. That's the people I'm talking about.
Hammer this home enough?
Yep.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's move on. Like Shooter said, we're here to talk about a little OC, a little RHOC, and god damn it, this show, look, it's a good season, okay? We can't take away from the fact that it is an entertaining season of TV. I cannot put up with this shit much longer, though. It is very, very off-putting. It's very frustrating to watch how they're handling this whole thing. I am getting anxious for Shannon. In this episode specifically, I'll point out a couple of times where I was like, oh my God, this is going really bad. But all in all, it's working as a season. I just wish that they would be, because that's the thing. The drama surrounding Shannon's not driving this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually putting a dent in it because there's enough here. The drama between Alexis and Shannon, if it wasn't centered around Shannon's drinking and driving, would still be palpable. It would still be something I'd want to talk about because they just simply don't get it. If it was just about the fact that she's dating Johnny J, Jan, the Jan Man, that's still entertaining.
Well, I think that the entire, not all of it, I want to put like 15, obviously Tamara is deplorable. I'm going to put like 20% of the blame on her because she continues to just perpetuate it.
Yeah.
If Alexis was better at this, she is so piss poor at creating this toxic environment that's going on in this show that usually, we're pretty used to.
Yeah.
We see a lot of things like this. We see a lot of feuds. We see a lot of issues where they're talking about husbands or boyfriends or whatever. And it's good and it's fine because there's usually a bit of a divide in the group. This is just like shock and
Clumsy.
awe, and then all that Alexis is doing is one, extorting through Johnny J.
This is
Or Johnny J is
blackmail,
extorting
right?
through her, rather. And all she's doing is she just keeps saying, Shannon won't stop talking about it. Shannon won't stop talking about it. As I think Emily said this episode, this breakups happen. This is what happens. You talk about things, especially if they're going to be dating somebody that you're going to be around all the time. This is always going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. But Alexis is so fucking bad at it. She's lying through her teeth. She's making shit up, and then she's extorting.
This is 100%.
Like, she's not good. She's not good at her job.
No, she's not good at her job, and it's 100% extortion. I'm confused, and we'll talk about that when we get into it, as to how it's not blatant extortion and blackmail. It's genuinely confusing to me. And I know we reiterate time and time again, we are not legal experts.
No, we're not.
We're not lawyers.
Some things, you know,
They seem pretty cut and
just
dry.
seems pretty cut and dry. It's pretty black and white on this case, I would
That's what I
imagine.
would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that you're
I'm
totally
confused.
right. I'm confused too, but I think that she is just sloppy. She's clumsy with how she's trying to set things up.
Mhm.
She gets lost along the way. You can't say in one scene, I want to make up and just move past this. And then the next scene say, all gloves are off. We're going to ruin her life with this fucking video. You're playing both sides of the street, but not well. When you play both sides of the street, you need to be sneaky. You need to move a certain way. You're just blatantly, I don't even know. It's bizarre to
An
watch.
asshole.
Yeah, she's a huge asshole. And it's really strange to watch her navigate through this thing and also put so much emphasis on the John Janssen of it all. Because again, I don't know if you thought that the audience gave a fuck. We really don't.
We don't, and she hasn't tried to do anything else.
No.
That's the thing. We know, obviously, you've been on the show before, but like, we know nothing about what your life is like right now. That is Housewives 101. We get a little bit, even for Katie. Katie came in with a terrible game plan going after Heather.
She settled
We
in.
still know she's settling in, but we still know things about her personal
Mm-hmm.
life. We've seen her with her husband just sitting down. We know about her family. She's done more as a newbie to this show than you've ever done. And it makes no sense because, yes, obviously it's a little succinct because we get to watch the show, so it's a little fresher in our memories than maybe it is when you're filming. But when Alexis is sitting there and they're going to the private jet, she's talking about how, like you said, I want to leave this behind. Like, I want to move on. I want to be able to just be all square and just kind of leave this alone. But you won't stop talking about it. Obviously, Shannon in that first episode is thinking, I don't want this to be a thing. I don't want to have to relive, which she has held on to. I don't want to have to relive my entire relationship with him. I don't want to have to relive how it ended. I don't want to have to relive what I did at the end of that. Makes total sense. Of course she doesn't. Alexis says, well, you're just going to have to be okay with it. It's like, okay, then talk about other things. All you talk about is Johnny J. All you talk about is Shannon. You haven't tried to give a different storyline or show any sort of insight into your life. And maybe that's Bravo production, but it's probably not. It's probably just Alexis being an asshole and being stupid.
And I don't know if it's because she was on the show prior, so like she thinks that she
Yes.
doesn't need to catch people up. But for me, a great example is when she's talking to Heather about and I'll remember the name when I read my notes, but the foundation that she's working for or putting on this event for this fashion show that she's doing. It's for the LGBTQ plus community. And Alexis seemingly has something, I don't know if her kids are LGBTQ plus. I don't know what the deal is with them. She alludes to the fact that this is important for my children. Okay, why? Let's expand on that.
Yeah,
I
like
would
she
love
doesn't
to
have any
know.
more thoughts about it.
No, but I don't know.
And then she goes to her confessional, and it looks like her confessionals were shot all in one day.
Right?
All she did, and it was probably done in like 2 hours, because all she does is talk about the same thing every single time. They could, at this point, reuse footage from like 4, 5, 6 episodes ago,
It would still work.
and I wouldn't realize that they reused the footage.
Nope.
Because I just completely tune her out when she goes to her confessional, because we know what she's saying. She's saying the same thing over and over again, which is, again, not your job. You can't keep hammering this home. We don't care anymore.
No, I didn't care the first episode. Now I
No.
really don't care because
Well, we were like slightly amused by the whole thing in the first episode.
yeah, but now
And then it turned dark quick, and now it's just annoying.
it's way too dark, man. It's fucking scary, honestly, and she needs to figure out a different game plan or like what drives me crazy with it is just the humanity of it. It's like, how can you think that this is an appropriate way to go about anything?
Mhm.
Like when you're watching a woman fall apart and you're the cause of it and you're like, thumbs up, smiley,
Yeah.
this and that, like fuck off. But let's jump right in, and we get this foreboding intro between Heather and Alexis, and they're talking about the Shannon situation, and more or less, Heather's saying, "Can you lighten up?" And what the fuck's going on? Why are you doing this? And Alexis is like, "I simply can't. John's reputation has been dragged through the mud, and I'm here to vindicate him."
She says through the community.
Through the community.
What the fuck does that mean, by the way?
Orange County?
I guess, but John Janssen doesn't seem like the type of guy that's involved in his community.
No, and
I
also
think he's volunteering at youth soccer games.
maybe that would help his image if he did. Or they'd be like, "Who the fuck is this random
He's
guy?"
just wearing his Ferragamo shoes everywhere.
Oh, dude. Yeah, what a loser. But we get into the episode, and it's Heather and Terry and her family, and there's something about these two and their family. I just love it. I love the dynamic. They seem to really like each other.
No, they definitely like each other. They're definitely all family because they all act the same way. They all have the same mannerisms. They all look alike. It's really funny.
It's hysterical.
It's just really funny to watch them all together, and I love that we get to start off the episode like this because, again, like you said, it's been really dark. We always like the family scenes.
Yeah.
Throw a family scene in there, and I like Heather's family because Terry's delightful.
He sure is.
Her kids are delightful. The dogs are great. They're all well-trained. We love to see all of it.
We love to see a well-trained dog. It is few and far between on these shows, but I have a couple of questions regarding this scene. First off,
would I rather live in Beverly Hills or Orange County?
Yes.
Neither.
Okay, cool.
Next question.
Next question. Is that being posited? Because, we've speculated before. Heather could easily fit into the group in Beverly Hills. She's got the money. She's got the stature. She's got the chops to do it. She can stand up to those ladies. Is this a little hint? Is she maybe toying with the idea? 'Cause she's like, look, I don't even remember where I sleep half the time. I'm back in Orange County for a night to visit my mom. Then we're back in L.A. Hey, kids, where do you like living better? Oh, L.A.?
I think she was talking to us.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, what do you guys want? I don't want her to go to Beverly Hills. I've changed my mind on that.
I think
OC needs her.
OC's good enough this season. I know that people liked last season. We are enjoying this season. It's good enough that she can continue to be at the helm of that show.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that OC desperately needs her because of all the things that she brings to the table. She brings some normalcy in there, and she can also still be, well, that's Heather.
Yeah.
For all of the random weird things that happen that people don't act like that on a normal basis. But when Heather does, you just say, oh, that's Heather. It's fine.
Yeah, she's a pro in how she handles people. She doesn't let them retort.
Yeah, honestly.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Taryn pointed it out in our last episode. It's like she has this innate ability as somebody's trying to give a rebuttal. She's like, no, that's enough. I've said my piece. This is what we're going to do.
Yep.
Bye-bye now.
Yeah, and she did that with Katie, and I love that when she described it a little bit later when she was on her retreat, talking about the Katie situation, like, yeah, no, I didn't let her keep going. I just said, we'll be done with this. We'll just move on.
Yeah.
And Katie might get the idea that, okay, we're good. Let's move forward. It's like, no, I'm still going to be cordial and I can still have fun with you. Doesn't mean I like you.
No.
It's like, okay, Heather.
It just means I've moved on.
Yeah.
It's great.
It just means I don't want to talk about it anymore.
My other question, was this a dig at Tamra? When she goes into her confessional and she's like, look, I'm not hiding my kids. I want to show their lives and I'm proud of them. But at the same time, I'm not trying to exploit my kids.
I mean, yeah, you can read into that as a shot at Tamra.
Or was that just...
You'll never get Heather to admit to that.
No
chance in hell.
I'm asking you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 1,000%.
That's what I thought too. But we keep going and we get to Heather and her assistant, and they're getting ready. It's Family Equality is the name of the foundation that she's putting on this thing for the organization, and it's a fashion show for the LGBTQ community, like I said. And I hope to be rich enough someday to wrap all of my clothes in tissue paper when I pack.
Yep.
That's the peak of wealth, I think.
Do you want some tissue paper? Because I always have some.
I have tissue paper.
Oh, okay.
Dev's got a whole closet upstairs. I'm used to saying Devin now because of The Bachelorette.
Yep.
That just came out of my mouth and it felt weird. I call her Dev.
Yeah.
Only Dev. Dev has a whole closet of wrapping stuff, and it's we got bags. We reuse bags, we reuse boxes, and we got lots of tissue paper.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not lack of having it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't, there's no way I would have the patience to wrap my clothes in tissue paper.
Yeah, I can't see you doing that.
No shot.
One slight tear in the tissue paper while you're wrapping something, you're done.
Yeah, I would melt down. I'd be, fuck this, this is stupid, and then just jam all my
Be
clothes.
the wallpaper situation all over again.
Dude, wallpaper.
Sticks on, man. It's not that hard.
It's hard. And you know what else is furniture? There's so many pieces and it's like Legos for adults, but not fun.
I got a table the other day, or like last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't even know. Time is just not real. And the whole top part came together, including the drawers.
That's lovely.
The drawers were put together and they slid in perfectly.
Wow.
I don't know.
Where'd you order it from?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I think it was Wayfair, but Wayfair's a crapshoot.
Wayfair's a 50-50.
Yeah, it's an absolute crapshoot. But the fact that it turned up, I carved out like 2 hours of my day because I know that putting drawers together is such an intricate process. I pulled this thing out of the box, the entire top of it. All I had to do was put the legs on and I was good. Legs and hardware.
God,
it took me like 25 minutes. I was like, oh, this is incredible.
I put the crib together today. That only took about 20 minutes. That was nice, but it's only 4 pieces.
Okay.
The dresser.
You didn't take any videos of yourself while you were putting the crib together to talk about any current events or anything?
No, I didn't do that. Didn't do that. I know what you're referencing. But no, I didn't do that. But I did put together my soon-to-be daughter's dresser.
Okay.
There's 30 drawers.
Yep.
Fucking 30 drawers. Mm-hmm. Do you know how long? You do. Drawers take a long time.
The fucking worst.
I put the whole thing together. I'm like, all right, almost there. And then I forgot that downstairs there were 2 more boxes full of drawers. I was like, oh, yay.
Did it come with the thin piece of plywood that you have to put on the back?
Yeah,
and you have to hammer it in?
Of course it did. Yeah. Because it's like, I feel like
sometimes if I'm putting something up, by the way, and it's going to be facing a wall,
you don't put it on.
I don't put it on.
Yeah, totally.
No fucking
100%.
Yeah.
I've been there before, but this, obviously, it's my daughter's room. It's the nursery. Of course, I'm going to max some effort. Yep. I hammered that bad boy. I mean, it's seamless.
Good.
But God damn it. God damn it.
Oh, but when you hit that nail, that little tiny nail, and it goes in smooth.
When you fucking hit it the right spot, but you're like a half a centimeter over and you miss it.
Oh, yeah. That's the worst.
We've rambled.
Yeah.
Let's get back on track. Anyway. We check in with Jen. She's FaceTiming with Katie. And like I said, I called this before. I do think this is an alliance here because they can relate to one another. All right, they've been through similar situations, Katie with her ex-husband, so she seems to be the soundboard for Jen and the shit going on with her. She finally has a court date, I guess, to discuss alimony, to discuss child support, temporary stuff like that. And, you know, she's really going through it, and she's crying a lot, and Katie seems to be a comfort for her. My big thing here, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, because I like Jen, and people make mistakes, and she has been very open about this process. When you cheat, I don't think you get stuff. Like, I don't think you get alimony. Child support, sure, because that's for the kids, but, like, I don't think you get that much, like, alimony-wise.
Were you getting back in the law?
Yeah.
Pull out like being in this law thing. Let's see what I think. I imagine there would have to be a cheating clause in there.
I think
it has to be part of a prenup, and she might not have had a prenup either.
I thought adultery was like, if that happens, it's null and void.
No, I think that's part of the prenup. And if there's no prenup, obviously it's not in there. But if there is, I think there has to be a cheating clause.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just assumed.
I'm just like...
I think if there's a prenup, you can have a cheating clause. I think that when it comes down to, like, in the court of law, if there is no premarital agreement in any way, shape, or form, I'm pretty sure adultery, like, cancels out everything.
I don't think so.
We don't know. If you know, let us know.
I'm just like digging into like the far corners of my mind from random.
Why would you know this?
Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Law and Order
Dick
is,
Wolf.
by the way, one of the most accurate law shows of all time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, the cases aren't. They're completely made
That's
up.
What I
They're
mean.
based off of other things. But the law aspect, that's real.
Okay, well.
Suits probably not.
Well, Suits is
They perjure themselves all the fucking time.
I talked to Kev multiple times. All right. Our buddy's a lawyer. I told him that Suits is real. He said it's not, but I think he's just covering up.
He's probably just covering up.
Covering it up. I don't think people are allowed to talk about The Office.
Good point.
Because it's all about Suits. But let's keep going. We get to Heather's private plane, and we have assigned seats, which is really funny. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, yeah, you got to keep Alexis and Shannon away from each other. And she's like, I'm not sitting next to Katie. I was like, this shit is going to keep dragging on. But out of nowhere, you know, I know Emily brings it up first to Shannon about the Ferragamo shoes, where there was a picture posted and it's Johnny J and Alexis, and it's their quote-unquote red carpet debut. Debut of what? You're not famous. Neither of you are famous. What are we talking about?
I like GIna going into it being like, is there more to come?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I think it's just their relationship. It's probably just their first official picture.
Oh, it's their
together.
red card. It's their debut of these two on a red carpet.
Debut of those two together in a relationship on a red carpet. A bit nuanced for sure. But, again, whoever wrote that article, kick rocks.
Yeah, why are we talking about it? Why the fuck are we talking?
Especially at that point, it's like, oh, this is kind of spicy a little bit. That's who Shannon used to date, so maybe this is a good picture to take, and I'll write a little article about it later. It's like, no, we're already done with it.
He's wearing these shitty Ferragamo shoes, and Shannon points out under her breath, "I paid for those shoes," or something along those lines. Not a big deal. One off. She
said, like, at least he's still wearing the shoes I paid for.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, nothing I would put any stock into. And Emily brings it up. And of course, Tamara out of left field is like, "What about the shoes? Did you buy the shoes?" And then Alexis now is able to say, like, "You're a 60-year-old woman and you're like, Tamara said that.
Yeah.
You're a 60-year-old woman and you're dissecting this picture. Like, oh, let me look at his eyes. Let me look at his nipples, this and that." It's like, no, she saw a picture of her ex-boyfriend with a current cast member. She's still shaken up because those two won't leave her the fuck alone, and noticed that he's sporting the shoes that she purchased for him.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very normal reaction.
Very normal, very topical for what's going on here. You're suing Shannon for money while wearing the shoes that she bought for you. All of that is well in line with what we've been talking about that Shannon doesn't want to talk about, but keeps getting brought up because of Alexis, because of Tamara. So yeah, all of those things are in line with how you would imagine she's going to react. I see no issue there.
Zero issue. And it gets, again, back to Alexis, is like, find a different thing to focus on. Like, let's put it aside for the group. It's like, you're the one that brings it up.
Yep.
And even in this moment, she didn't bring it up. She mentioned something under her breath by her friends, and then Tamara announced it to the plane. And now
she does it under the guise of, well, we're going to have to talk about it eventually. Like, shut up, Tamara.
Yeah, you don't, especially not in that setting.
No.
If you want to talk about it with Alexis when you get off the plane, like, be my guest. But in front of her, you don't have to do this and make it more awkward. And then with the videos, because GIna mentions, like, you really can't release those videos, and she says she needs to see how bad she hurt people. And it's not my fight, but he's my man. It's the first part of that is all you need to focus on. This is not your fight. We're not even sure really what the fight is, to be honest with you. I'm not sure why he is continuing to go after her. It came out in the news that allegedly, I saw this on, I can't corroborate this because I can't find it again. I did see it where apparently, and maybe Vicky pointed this one out on one of her podcasts, I'm not sure. But I guess, according to this, Shannon offered the full $75K, but Johnny J had to sign a non-disparaging agreement, no longer allowed to talk shit about Shannon, and he said no. Again, I can't corroborate that.
Yeah,
I read that somewhere or saw that somewhere.
Would I be surprised by that? No, absolutely
not at all.
Not, because that's what he wants to do. Now, I don't know, because all I can really go off of is what we're seeing Shannon saying here, where maybe further down the line she agreed to that, but then said you need to be able to sign this as well, and he didn't want to sign that. Where we are right now, she's offered half, around half.
She says
let's
she
say like
offered
37.5,
yeah,
whatever. So that's what she's offering at this point in time. I don't know until that's like actually confirmed. Who knows? But yeah, I could absolutely see that because that's all he wants to do. That's the whole reason why he's part of this show right now. Even though he says he doesn't want to be on the show, he doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Then why are you dating Alexis, who you knew was going to end up on the show? So all of it's bullshit.
Yeah, that always goes back to that for me.
Backs to that.
Every single time, backs to back. Every single time that it gets to that point where it's like, he's sick of this and sick of that, I always go back to what he texted Shannon way back before Alexis was even in the picture. You ruined my life and my family's life by bringing the spotlight on us. Fast forward a couple of months and you willingly jump back into the spotlight. So anything that he says on the topic is null and void in my mind.
Yeah, you would imagine that on their first date, let's assume that he doesn't know who Alexis is in this weird scenario. As soon as she says, yeah, I'm joining Real Housewives of Orange County, he would tuck tail and run away.
If he was being genuine.
If he was being genuine, which he's not. So, yeah, no, null and void.
Piece of shit. But we get to Sonoma at the Dawn Ranch, and I always think it's funny because I feel like there's two types of rich people. There's the rich people that love outdoorsy shit.
Yeah.
And they do like quote unquote outdoorsy shit. It's usually like a very guided outdoorsy thing.
Yeah.
But they like it Or you have the rich people that are like, I don't fuck with nature, period. And we've got quite a few people here that don't fuck with nature, period. Although I'll give Katie some credit. If I went to pour, and I love cabins and outdoors and nature and shit, if I went to pour out of my kettle and a spider came out, I'd be a little perturbed as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So I can't.
I mean, is that before or after you boiled water?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because if you boiled water and the spider still came out and he was still alive, I'd be freaked.
I would kill that spider very fast.
You might not be able to.
That's what I'm saying.
Withstood
Wait,
boiling water?
No, I know what I would do. I would let that spider bite me.
Oh, yeah, for
Spider-Man.
sure.
It's a
Yeah.
Spider-Man moment. You
Yeah,
found
but
a
what if your only
radioactive
power
spider.
is that you can withstand high heat?
Then I make $1 million getting boiling water poured on me on America's Got Talent or something.
What
Watch
if you're
this.
wrong?
Then I will go down in infamy as the guy that died on live TV pouring boiling water on himself. Either way, you're going to remember me.
Oh, God.
But let's get back to it. We get GIna, Shannon, Emily, and Katie, and this is where it's tough. This is where it gets harder to defend things, and I'm glad GIna spoke up on it, but it does lead me to a good point. They're sitting at the table, and Shannon says, you know what, we're on vacation, I'm going to order a drink. GIna is sober. GIna says in her confessional, like, dude, like, come on, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm sober, you have support here, like, can you just try to not drink? And when you hear somebody say something like, I'm on vacation, it's like all you're doing there is rationalizing an excuse to drink, and you're not doing yourself any favors. But the way that GIna addresses that, I'm like, this would be the appropriate time and response to have quote unquote tough love or tough conversations. In this moment, when she orders the drink, you're around friends, say, hey, are you sure about that? Have you considered just not drinking altogether until you get through this at the very least, for optics, for your mental health, your emotional well-being, any of the above, because this is giving the other side a lot of ammo.
Yeah.
I know you're saying that you can control yourself. It's 1 or 2 drinks. It's not a big deal. The optics of it are terrible. And that's where you're going to get people trying to find cracks in the armor saying, see, she's not really trying. She's still drinking, which is not true. It's not true at all. But that can be an argument made now because she simply won't say, I'll have a sparkling water or just a water.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think that there is a correct answer in any of this. I do think I prefer the way that GIna went about it rather than calling her out, because we've seen that go awry very quickly.
Yeah.
Especially, it doesn't really matter on shows like this or specifically on this show. As soon as you challenge that decision by Shannon in front of anybody on the show, they take it and run with it based on whatever Shannon's reaction is. So if you take the approach of, well, we'll see how this goes, and she has the one and then she moves on and she doesn't have any more, then you can be like, okay, that's kind of a crisis averted. So there's no real right answer to it. I do like that GIna took the time to talk about it in her confessional, because we get to hear from GIna specifically, who went through something similar, so she can speak on it. So yeah, I don't really know, but I do agree with you. Optics wise, Shannon should probably just go into this and be like, you know what? I don't want to give them any ammo.
Exactly.
As soon as I order a drink, Tamara's going to be breathing down my neck. As soon as I order a drink, Alexis is going to point something out. As soon as I order a drink, someone else is going to come out of the woodwork and be against me. So why would you not just spare yourself the issue that could cause?
Agreed. And that's where it comes into play, where it's much easier to say, Shannon probably has a drinking problem. You have an issue with alcohol. I think it's pretty apparent. And I think that in this moment, once again, and moments before this, where you're with the group, don't fucking drink. It's so simple. And it takes that target off your back, where you're willingly putting it on because you're rationalizing, once again, saying, we're on vacation. It's like, yeah, dude, but
yeah, that line's really tough.
That line sucks.
If she had just ordered the drink, it'd be like, okay, like, Shannon, are you sure? But saying, well, yeah, it's vacation, I'm going to have a drink. It's like, no.
That is literally textbook alcoholic, where that's what I did.
Yep.
It's a Tuesday. You know, the second Tuesday of every month is drinking day. Everybody knows.
Drinking day, yeah.
We'll find a reason. There's always a reason. So that's my point. There's always an excuse to do it until you're able to say, I don't want to do it, or I'm not going to do it.
But also, if you turn it around too, if you don't have a drink the entire weekend that you're there, and you make a note of saying, yeah, I'm just going to have a sparkling water in front of everybody, and Tamara and Alexis and whoever else goes after you for your drinking, you now have ammo. Have you seen me drink it all this weekend?
I've seen you guys.
You can turn it again. I'm on vacation. I'm up here. I don't have to drive anywhere. We're being driven around. I'm staying somewhere that I can walk back to. Am I drinking? No, I'm not. So what does that say about you? Then you completely turn it on Tamara, and then that's no longer an issue.
It gives you a lot more ammo.
Yeah, so it wasn't that smart of a move.
No, it was a tough move. It's a tough move to defend, but the money issue comes back up, and the deadline is that day or the day before. I'm not sure which one. She offered half of the amount. And this is where they start talking about extortion, finally. It's like, this has felt like extortion the entire time, but I'm glad they're really pointing it out. And she keeps hammering home, John wants people to think he's a good guy. If I'm John Janssen, you better go back to the drawing board, dude. People were ready to just write you off before the season started.
Yeah.
Now people genuinely do fucking hate you.
Yep.
And it's all self-inflicted. And I mean, self-inflicted and by your girlfriend or fiance now. You guys... You did this.
Yeah.
People think you're a piece of shit. Shannon doesn't have to say anything. We just need to watch it unfold. And it's like, no, you're just simply a piece of shit, sir. And so is your fiance. You guys are deplorable human beings. Not because Shannon said so, because I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it happen.
And I truly believe that if Alexis wasn't part of the season, if John wasn't suing Shannon wouldn't be talking about John.
No.
There's enough else going on that she's going through. This would not be something that would be present in her mind anymore. Maybe she thinks it. Maybe there would be a passing by comment about who John's dating, or there's a picture of him, or whatever. But that would be it. That would be the extent of it. Instead, this is like a main storyline that she has to talk about. And the only talking she's doing is her defensiveness.
Yes.
She's defending herself against John, against Alexis, against Tamara. Otherwise, we wouldn't be hearing about it the entire time. So no, she's not initiating these conversations. She's saying things under her breath, sure. But yes, that's because it's a byproduct of John is suing her. So all of these things go out the window if none of that's happening.
Yeah, correct.
And we get to just see Shannon go through what she's going through. And there would probably not be as much sympathy, I would imagine, because she wouldn't be having to be faced it all the time. But now, at least, we're trying.
It's impossible. Johnny J and Alexis need to kick rocks, but right on cue, you get that conversation between Alexis and Heather about this fashion show and everything. And, this is where Alexis references, my children know that I'm going to fight for them.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, why? In regards to what? Like, what are we referencing? I would love to know more about you because I know nothing. And again, people may know more because she was on previous seasons, but you haven't been on the show for a while. Like, catch us up. Or simply offer a different perspective of why you're interesting. Because as of now, it's your shitty fiance that nobody likes. That's your only storyline.
Yep.
So it would have been great right there to expand on that topic just a little bit. But she throws in at the end, I want to say what we want to say, and I want to let this whole thing rest. Then once again, stop talking shit all the time.
Yeah, I don't get the I want to say what we want to say.
I want to say what we want to say.
What does that fucking mean?
That's implying that
what have
Shannon
you
wants
been
to say
saying this
stuff, too.
entire time?
What you want
We
to.
know what you want to say. You've been saying it the whole time. Like, be done with it. If that's truly how you feel, then you should be done by now.
You would
Probably
think.
episode 2 or 3, we'd be like, all right, you've said what you want to say. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on because this is boring now.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to hear about Johnny J anymore. But we get to check in with the foundation. What is it called? Family Equality? I want to get it right. I don't want to get it wrong. It is Family Equality.
Yep.
They were responsible, which I think is really cool, for getting the don't say gay thing to go away in Florida, where you weren't allowed to say gay because the fucking Florida government said you couldn't say gay, fucking Ron DeSantis. So I'm glad that was highlighted. I think that's amazing. That shows what this group is capable of doing, and I'm glad that they're supporting it. I think that's fucking incredible. And I thought that it was really interesting. One of the workers said, what this did was there was students in school that couldn't talk about their own families because they had gay parents.
Yep.
Like, that's fucking crazy. So that's awesome that they had that kind of impact, and it's cool to hear. But it leads us to a wine tasting, and Jen arrives and find out that it didn't go very well. She's getting granted temporary support to the tune of $6,000 a month, which for 5 children in Orange County does not seem like a lot of money.
No.
A little alarming. Good thing she's with Ryan? Question mark.
Definitely a big question mark there. But yeah, I mean, who was it? Emily that said, I guess this is just going to end up, I hate to see it, but she's just going to take that $6,000 and then get the rest from Ryan and not go and get a job. Or
No, that was
said.
Tamara said she's with Ryan
not go get a job.
she's going to rely on that.
Yeah, Tamara actually fully correct on that
Decent point.
Yeah,
that was a
decent point.
Yep, I'll give her that one. Credit where credit's due always.
Uh-huh.
You're correct, and that's not the way that she should go about it, especially knowing what we know now about Shohei Ohtani. And if you still don't know what we're referencing, for the love of God, Google it, because it is
do it before we see the episode towards the end of the season, because you're going to want to know what's going on.
Yeah, Google Shohei Ohtani gambling. You're welcome, and you'll be caught up. But
you might also bet on a couple of anytime home runs, but you know
might,
what?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
So
Just let us know if you find your way into that.
Yeah, that would be really funny. And also, you don't play professional baseball, so you're not going to get in trouble for it. You are allowed to bet on it. Shohei was not, but he didn't, allegedly.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. The translator totally did it. But we referenced Johnny J once again, and we get a little shout out, and this is the stuff that's tough to defend, man. And it's like, okay, Shannon took an Uber to a bar. Shannon got a drink after the Johnny J shit was going on, I guess. It was her way of like blowing off steam. I'm not entirely sure. I don't like that Tamara called it out. But you're leaving, this is my whole point earlier, you're leaving the door open for this shit by doing that. You know what I mean? And then by lying about it. Because here's the thing. Whether it was a Pellegrino and cranberry or not, it doesn't really matter. Because once again, we're talking optics here. It's like you're not doing yourself any favors. You're not making it easier. And I think that it's lost on a lot of people that for people with drinking problems, the first thing that people try to do is prove to people that we don't have drinking problems. Watch this. I'll have a drink and I'll be totally fine. I can handle myself. I took an Uber there and I got a cranberry. Well, why'd you take an Uber?
Yep.
We know you're driving.
Well, I think this was a little bit in the past. I think this was pre.
Okay.
So the timing of it is different.
Okay.
But still, to your point, why are you taking Uber to a bar?
Yeah, dude.
And I do think that when Heather said, I've never gone to a bar and had a mocktail.
I disagreed with that.
That's,
people do that.
People do that. That's normal. But going and taking an Uber to a bar by yourself to have a mocktail in light of the news of Alexis and John dating.
That's my point.
No.
It's a tough look.
It's a really tough look. Even if that's what you did, why are you doing that?
That's my point entirely.
Yeah. Get out of the house, go for a walk, go somewhere else. Maybe you end up at a fucking restaurant somewhere. Sure. But like, the whole thing altogether is just not a good look.
It kind of stinks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it comes back to help yourself. And this is not, I think that maybe she's thinking she's proving a point by having a drink in front of the ladies, by being like, look, watch this. It's not helping.
Yep.
Stop. You know what I mean? Just stop. I'm not telling you how to live your life. If
you're already defending yourself so much, you're making it more of a problem by doing that.
Yeah. And like, we are here to support. And I think that she is doing her best to navigate through this. And it's just tough to defend that. You know what I mean? And like, do yourself a favor and just clean it up a little bit. But we get a perfumer scene, which I would love to do this with you. I think this would be really funny. They're sitting there like
the scent take you somewhere.
Emily's the shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes Emily's the best.
Look, I understand too. And like, obviously in the context of you're going to be, I thought it was pick out like a scent that you really like on yourself, like a perfume.
That's what I thought too.
It would make sense. But she's not wrong.
Tacos? She even goes to carnitas. I'm like, fuck yeah, carnitas.
Yeah, that is
amazing.
one of the best smells ever.
It is.
I don't want to smell like carnitas.
No.
That's gross.
But I want to smell.
But I want to smell carnitas.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I'm going to get hungry and I want food.
I just love the fact that she didn't like buckle when they were like, what? She's like, come on, guys, like fucking tacos. I'm like, hell yeah, you stand by that.
Yeah.
Tacos are the shit.
Yeah.
I get that she like, I would have said maybe, sandalwood, beechwood. Something along
see,
those
but like,
lines.
I don't know how to answer that question.
What's your favorite scent?
On myself or just in general?
If you wanted to smell like
funnel cake on a boardwalk.
That's a great smell.
Yeah.
Would you want to smell like funnel cake on a boardwalk? That's not a bad
For a
one.
brief amount of
That's
time.
not a bad one. That's not like taco. If you smell like tacos and walked into my house, I'd be like,
gross. Hoagies, no. Gross.
If you walked in here smelling like hoagies, I'm like, nah, bro.
No. And that's the scent that people use to describe somebody who smells bad. It's like you smell like hoagies,
You smell like a hoagie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means you've been
might be
sweating too much. That might be a Northeast joke.
Yeah, that's Northeast. Yeah.
That
Anyway,
could be regional.
Yeah, that's very regional. I don't fucking know. Like musky? No, musky. No,
Musky's not bad, but you have to differentiate what you
Yeah,
mean,
but
'cause
then I don't
musky
know
could
where to
be like,
go.
ooh, that's a tough musk.
You know what I do when I get a cologne? I smell it, and then I put it on, and then I see if I get any compliments.
That's not a bad.
Yeah,
Where
that's a guy approach though.
Where do you put the cologne? Like, how many dabs are we doing?
So it's one in the chest, and then you do 2 on the wrists. And then
Ooh, whoa!
pop your wrists together, and then put it on your neck.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of cologne.
I don't think it is.
I don't know. I think.
Have I ever walked into your house and you're like, "Damn, that's a lot of cologne"?
No, it's a good point.
Yeah,
I'm not a cologne guy though. I have
No.
a good natural musk, as I've been told. That's not me just thinking I do, because I always ask people, like, do I smell? Because if I think I smell, I ask.
Well, the
people.
best compliment I ever got, maybe not. It depends on who hears this episode, but one of the best compliments I ever got was in the back of an Uber. I was getting out, and before I got out, the guy turned around and he goes, "Weird question, but what cologne do you have?"
No, that makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it was the
makes you
first
feel
time
really
I
good.
wore that, and I'm like, you know what? This is gonna be my go-to for a while.
And I bet you felt really cool.
Oh, I felt great going out that night. Yeah,
yeah, fly like Cloud9. You're walking. You're fucking Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man 3.
I was. Yeah, absolutely. I popped my collar and I walked out.
I love that for you. But back to the perfumer. That's the other thing. They're called perfumers, which is funny.
Yeah.
But this is where shit really hits the fan. Before we get there, we'll check in with GIna real quick, because GIna got a dog, another dog. This modern family situation that she has going on sounds like a fucking train wreck. And I'm not telling anybody how to live. I get she's trying to figure it out with Travis, but like, you kick the guy out of the house. You're staying at his house. That makes no sense. I get there's construction going on, but this guy's got to be fucking confused.
Construction going on, and now you brought a new dog into the fold.
Yeah, like,
It's
whoa.
a bad time to bring a new dog in.
And the kids are confused, like, which I'm not commenting on, but like, it's a lot of moving parts. Like, this shit's messy as hell.
It's just really weird every time that we check in with GIna for what's going on.
It's not good.
Travis and I are figuring things out. Travis is moving out. I'm staying. We have a lot more room. I'm doing construction on the kids' room for bunk beds, which looks sick, by the way.
They do look sick.
They're all sleeping in my bed. I'm sleeping on the couch. We got a dog that represents Travis, who doesn't live here right now, because we have a dog that represents me. So we've got an Italian and an Irish dog. And
we're staying at
that's where
Travis's
we are.
right now.
Like, it's just none of it makes sense.
Messy.
It's very messy. And I don't know, like, she was jovial while talking about it too. You would think that if things weren't going well, she'd be sad about it, but you just got a new dog. So I'm just genuinely confused.
I think she's trying to put on a happy face. I think she's trying to say, we're fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Travis, fine. The kids, fine.
Yep.
The house situation, normal. And I got a dog. I'm so fine that we got another dog.
Yeah.
That's where she's at in her
At least
life.
she didn't get another cat.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But it's just every time we talk about it, I'm like, this seems really hard to keep track of.
I have no idea. I'm not even going to try.
No, I don't think it's worth it.
Because I know the next piece of information that we get from her, like next week or the week after, it's going to be even more confusing.
Or it's going to be really sad.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, yeah, Travis said he doesn't want to do this anymore. It's going to be like, well, yeah. I
So
mean,
now
do you
I've got
blame
2
him?
dogs and all these kids.
And my house is under construction. So, God damn it. But Shannon's on the phone with her lawyer. We find out that JJ, Johnny Jan, the Jan man, didn't accept the offer. And this is going to court. He's going to file a lawsuit unless she pays the $75,000. The girls are concerned, and a lot of them are like, this is so fucking tough, dude. It's so tough because on one hand, it's like, just if you have the funds, fucking get him out of your life.
Yeah.
At the same time, I fully agree. This is about the principle. If I pay, it's almost bending the knee. And this guy's a piece of shit. He's extorting me. Like, this is nuts. I shouldn't have to pay for this shit. I see both, because now you're seeing her, like, that would be the best. I don't even think Alexis would get over on her on that one if you just paid, because now what's she going to talk about? You know what I mean? Like, you took all of her ammo away. She's going to say, oh, she paid because she knows she's wrong. You can get through that.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I think.
But like also.
I land more before, and then I want you to go. I land on the side of don't pay it. That's what I think. I don't think you should give
too.
it.
And I do think that if Shannon feels like, because she's the one who used the word extortion.
Yeah, she did.
Earlier in the episode. So if that's where she feels like where she is and she's talking to her lawyers about it, if she feels strong enough, which would be fucking insane given all the things that she's going through, if she feels strong enough to throw that to court, maybe call his bluff, see where it goes, then by all means do it. Because fuck that guy. Don't pay him a cent. You know what? You offered him half. That's
more than
where
enough.
you were willing to go. If he's not going to take it, then fuck him.
And it also tells you he's got a vendetta. Like, that's all this is
Yeah.
about. He wants to smear you because he feels that you smeared him. But
Yep.
again, John, you fucked yourself because you're a piece of shit. Shannon didn't do this to you. You did it with Alexis Bellino, your fiance. Okay? This isn't Shannon's fault. This is your fault. We forgot about you after last season. You brought yourself back up. No one thinks you're a good guy because you've proven to us you're not a good guy. Not Shannon, not Alexis, you. Did I do that right?
Yeah, no, you did a great job.
Okay. You did this, John.
Nice.
Carry on.
Double birds. But yeah, I hope we're going in the right direction here because there are some talks within the cast during this episode where they start questioning John's finances, which is the direction that we need to go.
It should have already been going that way.
Should have been going there. It took you guys a very long time to
We're
get there. But thankfully, you're starting to see that this is taking a toll on Shannon and you're feeling bad for her. So your mind is turning towards the real issue, which is Johnny J.
Why do you need the money?
He sold his company. He's got to have money, right? Why is he doing this?
Well,
Does he
pick
need
that
the
apart,
money?
though. Let's pick that apart. He sold his company. He sold a portion. The company sold and he had a partial stake in it.
There you go.
That's very, very minimal.
Very,
compared to
very,
he sold his
very,
company.
very different. So he got some sort of payout. Who knows if it might be an annuity? Who knows what's going on there? But he needs money.
He clearly
That's
needs money.
clearly what he needs. And not only does he need money, he needs a good old stroke of his ego. You like the pause there after stroke?
Yeah. That made me think of the song Stroke. Stroke.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, hey, stroke me.
But I do hope that they are working on something here where all of the group is going to turn on Alexis. Because I need that more than anything.
Make me feel
Kick
good.
her out, too. I want a good reunion where everybody gangs up on her, and then Tamara sees that the tides are shifting, and she gangs up on her, too.
Vote her off the island.
Vote her off the fucking island and get her out of here. Bring Vicky back.
I would love that. All that sounds great to me. But back at the wine tasting, we touched on the Heather and Katie beef, but we're moving past that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Alexis claims, I told Johnny, let us just settle. She's speaking from the community, let's just settle. Oh, I thought this wasn't your fight, Alexis. I thought you weren't involved. What do you mean, let's just settle? That means that you want a piece of this action too. You've now inserted yourself into this, and you're not smart enough to use different phrasing and say, Johnny, you should just settle. Johnny, let's settle means you're completely involved in this takedown of Shannon, and it means you never said that.
I'm starting to look a little deeper into this one, though.
I like that.
The fact that she's saying let's settle means maybe she's feeling a little heat being on the front lines over here. Johnny J just gets to hang out in the back and talk to his lawyer and then just point Alexis in the direction. But maybe she's starting to feel a little heat from the
Getting
group.
worn down a little bit.
Yeah, let's just settle. Let's just get the fuck out of here and I can stop doing this because I feel like the girls are going to turn on me.
I think that's a great, great thought. Also, because that implies that once again, John is just this big piece of shit. It's like, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. And Alexis is like, I think we've run the course. And he's like, no, because that's what this guy does. He hides behind these women that have money and tries to extort them out of their money because he's a garbage pail kid that can't.
And he's
do
going to
anything
do it to
himself.
Alexis in like 4 years.
Oh, without fail. Everybody sees it except for her.
Yep.
They tried to tell you in your comments. You turned them off.
Nice.
But we get back to Shannon, GIna, Katie, and Emily, and this will be, I don't know, dissected multiple times, I think, to try to get to the root of it, because I have a theory.
Oh, I think
wanna
we're on
know-
the same line. Yeah. GIna did it on
did
purpose.
this on purpose.
Yep.
Thank you. This is bullshit.
1,000%. I think that GIna was having a hard time struggling with Shannon not knowing. And we've seen it in the past. We've seen it where other people are going on. I think it was about the Heather paparazzi issue where other people are talking about things. Oh, no, I know what it was. It was last year when everybody was talking about Jen. Everybody's talking about Jen going and having what do they call that? An emotional affair with Ryan. Everybody was talking about it, but Jen didn't know. GIna had a really hard time with that.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're seeing it again where everybody's talking about these videos, but Shannon doesn't know. So she lets it slip. We give GIna a lot of shit for being very clumsy and very messy with her storylines. She has been, and that was not intentional. This one was intentional in my mind. Yeah.
I thought it was too.
I think I am so anxious about Shannon finding out about this. I'm just going to let it slip.
And then she goes to confess. She goes, I just fucked up, didn't I? It's like, no,
Nope.
You knew what you did. You knew what you were doing. And yeah, you did fuck up because this was not the way to do it. And
But there is no good time to do it.
There is a better time.
But at least there's other people around and you're away from everything.
Yeah. It's just,
I don't know.
As somebody in recovery, I've been fucking dreading this moment because, like, I was so afraid of an actual spiral occurring after this. That's why I said it wasn't the right time, but you're right. Like, it's coming out eventually.
It's gotten to the point where everybody knows about it. So no matter what, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, it's just scary, man, because she lets her know. It's like there's ring cameras of that night, and she just starts breaking down. And this is where she finally like hammers home, like, this is extortion. And it's like, this is exactly what it is. It's 100% extortion. I don't know why they're threatening with videos. I don't know what the game plan is. It's clearly just about the money. But this was really scary to me because when she goes back to her room, they all go elsewhere. And she goes, I'm just going back to my room. In my mind, in my alcoholic brain, I'm going, she's going to go get fucking hammered right now.
That's what
she's going to go drink a whole fucking bottle of vodka because what's the point now? Her whole image, like, she's grasping onto anything that she can right now to hope that she can get back in people's good graces, that they don't see her like this big giant piece of shit. And every time she starts to move forward a little bit, there's another reminder, and it throws her back into this spiral. And at a certain point, she's not going to be able to bounce back. And that's what I wish, like, insults aside, defaming aside of John Janssen and Alexis, I wish they could recognize that side of it.
Yeah.
And the other women in the group are finally getting to a point where they're talking to Alexis and saying, because they're getting worried.
Yep.
If the whole cast is worried, we're worried at home. It's like, how can you guys not see that this is detrimental to a human being's life? Take the emotion out of it for 1 second. Do you really, truly want to be responsible? And that's what's fucked up. Alexis and John probably do. Do you really want to be responsible for her, like, a massive, massive fuck up where she gets behind the wheel of a car again, where she actually crashes into somebody and injures them or worse? And you're going to be the root cause of that. And yes, I understand she has to make the choice to drink. That is her decision to make. There are ways to help people get better. You are doing the exact opposite in hopes that she shows her quote unquote true colors, because that'll vindicate both of you and be like, see, told you she was a raging alcoholic. It's like, no, you kept berating her and now she said, fuck it. And I've talked about that before. I'm not going to dive through it again. But it's just, that genuinely scared me where I'm like, fuck, man, don't let her go back to that room alone. Somebody go with her.
Yeah, I don't understand why nobody went with her.
It scared me to death.
After something like that happens, and you guys have all been talking about this, you guys have all been talking about, you don't want to send her into a spiral. You don't want to have her hit her breaking point. You did. Like, she just hit her breaking point. That was it. And you all went your separate ways?
Not a good
look. And look, I do appreciate the conversation that Katie and Emily had.
Yes.
Where, look, Katie had a better showing this week. She's been getting a little bit better every week. She's settling in a little bit. Really rough first starting. But sitting down with Emily and saying, look, you're friends with Alexis, right? Talk to her. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
This is insane. But yeah, letting her go back to her room by herself after that is not a good look.
It's not a good, but here's the thing. It's two-sided because, and this is why I talk.
Well, I would hope that the producers are at least like around.
Yeah, I would imagine. But, you know, this is why I'm so opinionated on this topic specifically all season, is because they don't know. They don't know that could be a moment where it's like, here she goes. She's now hit her breaking point, and now she's going to say, fuck it, and she's going to go drink everything that she can find. They're not aware of that. So in their minds, they're like, oh, she needs space. So they're not wrong. But at the same time, it's like, I don't, like, in my brain was screaming, like, don't let her go back there by herself. Don't let her go back there by herself. This is bad. But as you pointed out, Emily and Katie have that conversation in the bath, and then we get, I got to talk about it, a FaceTime between Ryan and Jen. And
Every time.
They're talking, and I'm like, wow, he's picking up the kids. He's getting dinner. At least
You're just
he's
waiting
there
for the other shoe to drop, and it's a
Oh,
sexual shoe.
Always. And
Always.
she's like, I'm a lucky girl. I'm lucky as well. I get to sleep naked with you every night. Huh. Are you 5?
Like, yeah.
Grow
We have
up.
to do it every time. Every conversation that they have
We
has to
get
end
it.
that way.
You bang. Sick, bro. That's so cool. You have sex. That's awesome. What?
Because, like, again, I agree with you. The first part of that conversation, all right, Ryan,
Yeah, no,
you might be a good dude.
at least you're
Look,
showing up.
You're not the type of guy that I ever want to hang out with,
No.
ever want to encounter, but you might be a good boyfriend.
Maybe you are taking care of Jen and her kids. Good for you.
Good for you.
We sleep naked together.
It just, everything
I
gets
hate
thrown
you.
out the window.
I hate you. You're a piece of shit.
The entire conversation, because this would have had a very different mood to it if you and I were talking about this and that didn't happen. We would have said, well, all right, well, we know what happens at the end of the season with Ryan, but right now, you know what? You're being a good boyfriend. You're being a good father figure.
Yes.
Good for you, man. Everything goes out the window.
Let's yank that bitch
I just
back.
don't care anymore.
Fuck you, Ryan.
It's like you're doing this just to have sex with her.
I hate it. I hate you.
Yep.
You fucking Ed Hardy jacket. But the last scene is, admittedly, I cried because this one hit me in the gut. I felt this one a lot. Shannon and Heather are talking, and Shannon said, something's weighing on me. I need to get it out. I liked that from her. I like that she's sharing things that are eating at her, because that's an important step, is to be open about what's going on with you. She talks about the offer refusal and, you know, the girl saying, I just pay him, just pay him. She brings up the video, and she reiterates what you and I were talking about, where it's like, you know, I'm not lying, and I did pay for everything the first half, and I don't want to bend the knee. I don't want to budge on this because it's my principles and all of that. And we're on board. We agree. It's going to be a hell of a fight, but we agree. Like, stand strong. But this part, dude, when she's talking about the night of a DUI and running through it, you know, I crashed into a planter. I was unconscious. I woke up in the hospital. Heather starts to ask some more questions. And
Very
she's like,
important question.
extremely important questions. And she's like, how many seconds after you backed out of the driveway did this all occur? She's like, 3 to 5. Okay. So what happened? What was John's response? How did he not hear that? And she goes further into it, and she's like, I photographed myself, which I didn't know, and sent it to John. This part is what fucked me up, because she shows the picture of herself, and like her hands during this scene, they're shaking. Like, this is the level of emotional trauma that this kind of shit has on people. And that's what I want audiences to see. I want Alexis to see it. I want John to see it. Like, when you claim that she's not understanding what happened, when you claim that it's over her head, or that she's not fully bought into this whole thing of getting better, watch this scene. Watch her look at herself that night. Watch her hands shaking. Watch her come to the realization, as her and Heather are talking about it, that John Janssen did not give a fuck. This man let her leave. She crashed her fucking car, and his response after she sends him a picture of her bleeding after crashing her car drunk is, what's going on? The cops just brought Archie here. None of this tracks. It doesn't make any fucking sense, first and foremost. Second of all, watching her reaction and her emotions during this scene, if you think that she doesn't understand the gravity of it, if you think she's not wrestling with this every single fucking day and looking at that picture now that she has it, now that she found that picture, you know, I keep one picture of myself, and I look at it frequently to remind myself of where I was, what happened, and how bad it got. She now gets to do that. And it's really fucking hard, and it stings. I promise you, it stings every goddamn time you see it. And then to have the realization that the person that you were with when this happened, even if you guys were fighting, did not care enough to check on you and say, oh my God, are you okay? What the fuck happened? When he heard the crash, didn't run out of the house. If you allegedly almost ran over his daughter before you crashed 3 to 5 seconds later, wouldn't you think he'd be privy to that?
Wouldn't you think he would still be outside?
I would.
Yeah.
So none of it fucking makes sense.
No.
And at the same time, you're seeing what this has done to her.
Yep.
This is rock bottom. When we talked earlier about your breaking point, this moment right here, it's visceral. The way she's shaking, crying, uncontrollably, just jittery. That is real. That's really fucking real. And I'm so glad she was with Heather during this, of all people.
Yeah.
Heather or Emily would have been fine, but like, fuck, man. Fuck you, John. Like, seriously, what a garbage person. This is brutal. Like,
Absolute piece of shit.
I don't care if you guys just had words. I don't care if you had the worst fight of your life. You've been dating this woman for years. She just crashed and sent you a picture. And you said, what the hell's going on? Archie's here. None of it makes sense.
Yep.
That's all I got.
I know. It's, yeah. I mean, the whole thing is just absolutely fucked. But I echo the fact that she was there with Heather.
Nice.
Heather's the best person probably on the cast to have that conversation with, because now we can move to all right, I just sat down with Shannon and she just told me all of the shit that happened that night. What the fuck? So now at least we can maybe see the cast start to change their tune a little bit. We already started seeing it.
Between
so
that
maybe
and
they'll
Emily
start
and
looking
Katie.
at Alexis, Tamara. Shut the fuck up. Stop doing all of this, because this is way worse than we even knew.
Yes. Like,
And John is a terrible, terrible human being.
here's the proof.
Yep.
Like, he has no remorse. He has he's not conscientious. He's not concerned about, I don't care if she punched you in the face.
Yeah.
Like, the minute you hear that, aren't you like, oh my God? Or your daughter.
You know where the accident was. It's not far from his house.
3 to 5 seconds from your home.
Yeah. Like, even if her timing is off, where it happened was close to his house.
Yeah, and if he almost hit your daughter would have been like, Shannon almost hit me with her car, and you would have ran outside.
Also,
and seen it.
If you're a man of the community, as you claim to be,
Ugh.
wouldn't the community reach out to you and say, hey, your girlfriend crashed?
Yeah, aren't you on the like neighborhood watch,
Yeah.
John? Shouldn't you be out there with your fucking whistle and flashlight, you
Sheesh.
dipshit? Fuck you, man. But yeah, that scene rattled me a lot. So I hope that, as you said, I hope that the turning of the tides that we started to see this episode like really grabs hold. You know, between Emily and Katie's convo, between Heather learning about this, between the women just seeing finally, I think they're finally understanding the gravity of it.
Yeah.
I think it's taken time.
It took them 9 episodes.
But, you know, we're there. So hopefully it starts to turn. But questions.
Question time. From Stacy Mo Seals. Why do you think the girls didn't want to tell Shannon about the video? I think it's odd that they held it.
I think it's such a difficult thing to bring up because you're not quite sure what the damage is going to be. You're not quite sure where she is at the moment mentally. Does she have the strength to hear this right now? Are we going to send her down a worse path? Like, I think that they did the best they could with what they knew. And again, this is why it's so important to talk about this stuff so people are more knowledgeable on the topic. But I think they did their best. I didn't see a snaky way. Like, I thought GIna, forced it. But, you know, I didn't love the way she did it. But at the same time, like you said, and you kind of shifted my perspective on it, it's like, all right, well, when is the right time?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. So I think you could argue a little bit one way or another. I think they did the best they could with the information they had.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that it's just really murky waters when you're trying to bring something like that up because you know how damning it is. And you also kind of want to see how it plays out because if Alexis says it once and then everybody knows about it and then doesn't say it again, is it really worth it to bring it up to Shannon?
Correct.
If you feel like you just see Alexis for who she is and she's not actually going to drop those videos, or John, who the fuck knows what he's going to do. But you might just want to keep Shannon out of it for her own well-being.
Right.
Like now it seems like it's increasingly becoming more and more viable that
She needs to
those
know
videos
now.
might come out. Yeah.
But I think that nobody wanted to be the root of a spiral.
Yeah, exactly. From M. Norino, are you following along with Tamara's new face journey? We are.
I don't think anybody can't unless you, I mean, if you follow any Bravo accounts, like,
We are on members.
oh yeah, if you want us to talk about that, you can sign up for the members. Nice.
Gatekeep.
Gatekeep.
From Holly Tug, how shocked were y'all that GIna was the one who let it slip about the videos of Shannon? We talked about that. We got to get together and have a little powwow about it. I'm not that surprised that GIna. First off, I'm not surprised that GIna's the one to let it slip.
No, me
she has
neither.
been very messy this year as it
Clumsy
is.
fuck.
But this, I like the
I've
idea
worked
that,
through it, to where now I'm not as anti that moment as I was.
From, and I like this username, really bad pictures.
Wait, click on it. Are they really bad pictures?
It's probably just somebody's
I
account.
really hope that you really committed to this bit and you just post really bad pictures.
God, I hope
Or you're going to really
can't-
disappoint me.
Can't get to their profile. Anyway, how are these ladies not sending Alexis to the curb for literally torturing Shannon? I don't know.
It seems to be shifting finally, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I have no idea. I don't know why anybody wants to be friends with this woman. or even cordial for that matter.
From Marissa and Palma, did John only propose to Alexis because he
Yes.
had to? Would he have been exposed, or would he have if he wasn't exposed? Oh, okay.
Is this you can't testify against your husband kind of thing?
I was thinking that, but no, I think it's more.
I know that law.
I think it's more of a proving that this is a legitimate relationship
I
type
thought.
of situation. Yeah, but the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll break off the engagement at some point, probably. Oh God, I hope not. But from Billy Big Deals, will Johnny J and Alexis push for a Bravo wedding special?
First and foremost, Billy Big Deals reached out to us. Billy Big Deals is a salesman.
Okay, good.
So love that.
Good for Billy.
Yeah. Way to go, Billy. Great name. Billy Big Deals. Is that what you say when you're on the lot? He's not a car salesman. He's just a salesman. But what was the question? I got lost.
Will Johnny J and Alexis push for a Bravo wedding special?
I'm sure they have. They're not going to get it.
They're not going to get it.
No, they won't get it. But they definitely have broached the topic without a doubt.
And last one here from Maggie May _A. Okay, not OC related, but please watch and recap Secret Lives of Mormon.
Oh, we're way ahead of you.
We will, baby.
Yeah, don't you worry.
We will. So that's what you're going to be getting for the rest of the week, honestly.
Yeah, that's the rest of our week. We're doing 2 or 3.
Yeah,
See how it goes.
Yeah, we're going to see how it goes, but we're at least going to give you guys 2 episodes of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Not watching, do yourself a favor.
Coming this week, so we will have it covered.
Yep, we got you covered. But yeah, other than that, you got anything else?
I do not.
Well, Brav Bros are out of here.
Later.